Good morning, everyone. It is November 11th. November 11th, and it's a Thursday, which is really, really great. Lots of cool things to discuss with you guys today. Of course, the astrology, which we're going to look at first, and a few cool stories because it's Veterans Day. One of the stories will be about a vet. How apropos, yes? Hi, Sin. Good morning. Good to see you here. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Today is November 11th, of course, and it is the first quarter moon. And that is really awesome. It's a really great thing, this first quarter moon. Hello, Jennifer. Good morning. And happy Veterans Day to you and everybody listening. And a special thank you to our veterans all across America who have fought hard for the freedoms that we may take for granted. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, we are in the first quarter moon right now. And the first quarter moon is really all about relaying the foundations, the paradigms, beliefs that allow your intentions to manifest on a given subject. Good morning, Grandma. Winter weather advisory here. Oh, geez. Where are you? Whereabouts? The advisory in LA is that you need your air conditioner on during the day and your heat on at night and in the morning. That's the advisory I have for you here in Los Angeles. Anyway, we spoke previously about how important it is when you are wanting to manifest to determine your beliefs. We all have what Abraham Hicks would call an emotional grid. And that is a belief structure or system based upon your feelings on a given subject. So we all have emotional grids pertaining to the different areas of our lives. So, for instance, say it's about school, right? Each one of these boxes contain a belief about school. School is fun. I meet friends at school. I learn a lot in school. Learning is fun and exciting, right? And then that fills in with a wonderful schooling experience. Same thing in terms of love, same thing in terms of money, any subject, any subject. Okay, so Grandma, you're in North Iowa and it's freezing, apparently. Right as rain, wherever you are, it's -4 degrees. I better stop bitching about having to put my AC on and then my heat. I think that's just, yeah, I like consistency, but it sure as shit, it's better than -4 degrees. Happy Veterans Day, Right of Rain. So essentially, you have an emotional grid or emotional belief structure system based on every subject. So if you want to change something in your life, be practical and change your beliefs around it, because first you make your beliefs and then your beliefs make you. To do that, you want to practice the expectations that please you, because when you create an expectation, you're allowing your intentions to manifest. Oftentimes they say, don't expect too much and you won't be let down, but that actually is not really practical because your expectations sort of create this grid, right, that fills in and gets you your results. So if you want something, like we spoke about yesterday, maybe look at somebody who has what it is that you want and then determine what their beliefs might be. And then you adopt those beliefs and then you practice them. Again, you practice the expectations that please you. And that will be a really great way to make the best use of your first quarter moon. This is a time for building this first quarter moon. It's a time for making a loose, inspired action plan that's going to enhance your manifestations. So even if you have to change course, it doesn't hurt to just create a little bit of a plan, a loose plan. Say, okay, over the next 6 months, right? Because we're going from that new moon that we had in early November to the next 6 months. It's like you created your intentions on the new moon. I believe it was November 4th, the new moon that we had. Let me just make sure. Yep, it was on the 4th. So we had a new moon on November 4th. And that's all about saying, okay, well, I want to invite this into my life, invite that in my life now. In addition to relaying the foundations, the paradigms, beliefs, laying new pipes, so to speak, create a nice action plan for yourself. And if you have to change it up, that's fine. Taking actions now is really, really good. It's going to add energy to your goals and help you actualize them. So yeah, so keep that in mind, especially this emotional grid. Yeah. Otherwise, it is Jupiter's day, folks. So it's all about expansion and growth and going big. Jupiter expands everything that it touches. So definitely try to make sure you're in a good mood, because then your good mood will increase. Try to just really, really allow yourself to capitalize on the abundance that's inherent in the universe, the air that we breathe, animals and pets that provide us, comfort, water, plenty of water. There's abundance all around, all the greenery, the blood that runs through our veins. So there's so much abundance. So focus there on the abundance, and that's going to increase under Jupiter's day. You may also want to raise your consciousness by either meditating or reading or philosophizing, etc. It is an Aquarius moon, so it is a little bit unpredictable. Aquarius moon is good for dreaming up ideals, social pursuits, creative projects, hanging with friends, and doing something unusual. So feel free to go out on a limb and do something a little unexpected. That could be really, really cool. And we'll talk about tomorrow's aspects at the end of our news. But we're going to talk about a few cool news stories today, which I think should be really, really cool. So it is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. It's a real interesting day. I actually didn't know if it is appropriate to say Happy Veterans Day, but I heard it in the crew, so I'm going to say it too. Happy Veterans Day. On this Veterans Day, in fact, a Vietnam vet wants others to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. Yeah. So this guy, his name is Richard Pesci, and he's 75, and he considers it an honor to remember all the friends he served with in Vietnam. Many of those battlefield friends have sadly died by now, he said to Fox. I consider it an honor to remember, but to this day, I have failed to grieve for the friends I've lost because in my mind, they still live, he said, which is so cool, right? Because it is true, right? Energy is not created nor destroyed. It only takes the form of another energy. So you can't, things just don't vanish, right? They only transform. So even with our dead relatives, they're still with us. They might not be here on the earth plane, but they're still here. And it's cool that he mentions that. He feels that in his mind, they still live. And I think in his instance, it's not as cozy and comforting as it might be for us. He told Fox that moving on is not never has been an option for most of us, meaning veterans. I applaud those who have been able to put their combat experiences behind them. Personally, he says, I keep expecting the dam to break one day, but so far it has only trickled down in the quiet hours. One day I'll be able to put it down, and that day will be when they put me in the ground. So he can't let go of his experiences. They're still with him. He added, I know some just don't get why we as Vietnam veterans or any combat veterans always speak of dark days and sleepless nights. There's just no way to explain it to anyone who has not been in a hostile war environment. There's not an explanation in the world to bring to light the loss of a friend who has died on foreign soil, he also said. In an instant, a life is removed from us, and in a lifetime, we can never forget that loss. Pesci went on, we were kids planted in the middle of a war, and as kids, our loyalties ran deep. We were still innocent and unknowing. When we stepped into war, we were unprepared for what would be required for us to survive. I can't even fathom. Goes on to say, the darkness we, meaning veterans like himself, speak of is not the darkness everyone else sees. Ours is more of a dusky haze that clouds our emotions. It's a spirit that can take us from contentment to sadness in a heartbeat. He also added that when we speak of this, we speak of memories and a broken spirit, a darkness that seals our souls up for a time. Sure, we'll snap out of it and return to what we call normality for a while, but what we have been through is a life-changing experience. When you see the blank look or the tear, when you see the silence that has overtaken us, he advised, just realize that this is the darkness we speak of. He said that from time to time people ask him, when were you in Vietnam? He said that no matter how many years have passed since his service, his answer always feels like it should be every day. Yeah, really interesting. So he adds, please don't think that the things we say are just a robotic reply to gain attention. I mean, I never thought that. I didn't know that was a common thought. Pesci also said, we are not looking for sympathy, just understanding. And if you can't understand what we mean, then just walk away. That's a privilege that we as veterans don't have. They can't walk away. Pesci also told Fox, I hope my comments help those who have misunderstood us. I also hope it helps those who have been there and get it. For those who have served and been there, he said, I want them to know that you are not alone. So yeah, fascinating. Sin says, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when. I think it was World War. Okay, yeah. The answer to that question, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, WW1. WW1. Okay. Sin also says a lot of those vets were 18 and 19. The older ones were in their early 20s. Very young. Such a good point. Yeah, it's so fascinating, and it's good to really give thought to that because most of us have it easy. There's actually a really great book by Bessel van der Kolk, and he speaks of trauma, and he did a lot of work with Vietnam vets, and it's really a wonderful book. It's called The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. So essentially in this book, he purports that even if we decide to push our trauma away or deny it, the body does not forget. The body cannot lie. So when we have, pain in the back, typically it's like pain in the past, right? It's very much akin to the teachings of Louise Hay. She said that every physical symptom has a psycho-spiritual root. So if you have pain in the back, you have pain in the past. If you have diabetes, that's like bitterness. And for those children who are born with diabetes, the argument is that it's passed down from the families telepathically or really in the womb. Because when a child is in the womb of the mother, if a mother, for instance, has a cigarette, she shares that cigarette with the child. But also, if a woman is pregnant and she's experiencing trauma, she also experiences that trauma with the child. So a lot of people are coming into this world with trauma. And this book is really, it really speaks about it. So you can actually find the root, this spiritual root of your illnesses and be sort of like, oh, okay, I have to resolve my pain in the past in order to fix my back, or I have to be more flexible if I want my knees to get better, because knees are where you bend. So it's pretty logical, the correlations, but it's fascinating. But this book is really, really good if you are interested in learning more about trauma. It is really very insightful. Let me see here. Hi, Graphically Alex. I have suffered from hypothyroidism, and I think it said that it comes from not expressing yourself. Yeah. Yeah, especially anything dealing with the throat is like a self-expression issue. So you may have heard that expression, I'm so angry I can't speak, or maybe you've been so angry, hopefully not, that you actually could not speak. And when people get laryngitis, usually it's like they're so angry they can't, speak. I have that book. It's good for anyone PTSD, or if you know anyone who has that. It just helps you understand things, a lot better. So yeah, they said about this book, before we move on, that he's unequaled in his ability to synthesize the stunning developments in the fields of psychological trauma over the past few decades. Thanks in part to his work, psychological trauma, ranging from chronic child abuse and neglect to war trauma and natural disasters, is now generally recognized as a major cause of individual, social, and cultural breakdown. So, if people are concerned about the state of our society, it's possible that it's a matter of not it just being about individual trauma, but our collective trauma as a society. I mean, no wonder they were doing so many drugs in the 60s, right? With the Vietnam War breaking out. I mean, in this masterfully lucid and engaging tour de force, Van der Kolk takes us, both specialists and the general public, on his personal journey and shows what he has learned from his research, from his colleagues and students, and most importantly, from his patients. The body keeps the score is, simply put, brilliant. Very cool. Yeah, good day to you, MS169. I thank the veterans too. We definitely need to focus on that today. So yeah, check out that book. It's dense reading. I agree. It is. The audiobook's pretty good as well. Yeah. So anyway, there's other stuff that's going on. But while we're at it, folks, please mount that like button. It is Thursday's day, the day of the week ruled by Jupiter, which pertains to Sagittarius, and Sagittarius wants to mount. They want to mount. So be like Sagittarius and mount that like button, please. And subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Otherwise, in other news today, French footballer Aminata Diallo arrested in connection with an alleged attack on teammate. Yep. So, according to the New York Times, Kahira Hamrouri was pulled from a car. This is her teammate, her opponent, and beaten on her legs with metal bars. She was badly bruised, but with no broken bones in her legs. But pulled from a car and beaten on her legs with metal bars. It sounds very much reminiscent of the whack that was hurled all across the world in 1994 with Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. And yeah, I wrote an article about that, actually. I should find that. Maybe I'll find that and post it in the comments for you. But, it's interesting to look at why some people might do certain things. Tanya Harding has her moon conjunct Saturn and a shit ton of oppositions. And it's not really the same. Like when we look at Amina Atta's chart, it's really fascinating. I was very, very interested in this. So the first thing that, of course she's in Aries, that's fine. But the big thing is this big old grand trine, this fire trine, right? She has her sun at 13 degrees Aries, okay? And then Mars at 13 degrees Leo, and then Jupiter at 15 degrees Sagittarius. So these planets are forming a triangle, and when they are in the same element, it's an equilateral triangle, right? So it's in a fire sign, so she has like a grand fire trine. In astrology, hey Florida Husky, you too. In astrology, they often say make sure you mind the trine because it's like a lot of energy that you get in one element. For instance, Kurt Cobain had a grand water trine. That's why he was like such an amazing artist. He could, copy or draw these figures of like Disney characters. And I believe it was his grandparents who thought that he was tracing it, but he just was really that talented. And, he has notebooks and notebooks and notebooks. He's so prolific. So it was really easy for him to utilize those watery gifts of imagination, creativity, music, art, right? So he had a surplus or easy access to all of those watery gifts. With this girl, she has a grand fire trine, right? So that makes somebody have a lot of access to inspiration, creativity, enthusiasm, pride. I mean, obviously, sometimes self-absorption, right? But I think that it's fair to say that, when we're dealing with these different elements, there are, higher level elements and lower level elements, right? So, we can't really say, oh, all Aries are selfish. It's the house of self, right? So they might be selfish, but they might not be. Part of their selfishness might be to be selfless. They create their identity by caring for other people, for instance. But what's interesting here, at least in this instance, if she allegedly made this attack, then she has a surplus of the fire element that's really directed to competition, because that's one of the things in terms of fire, right? Competition, being the best, being number one. She is an Aries. She does want to be number one. So with that trine, it can work for you or against you. It's a lot of access to fire, and it would seem, if she did do this attack, that she has an excess of fire that made her hyper competitive and really going a little bit too far if she did this. So, it's interesting. If you have a trine in your chart, you got to mind the trine. And usually in astrology, we say mind the trine because we take it for granted. They've actually done studies that people who have squares or oppositions in their chart are actually more successful because they're sort of pushed and there's a certain level of conflict. With a grand trine, you have so much access, like you just don't realize it. You don't realize how smart you are if you have a grand earth air trine, or how practical and earthy you are if you have a grand earth trine, etc. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you have a grand trine in your chart, could this? Oh yes, most definitely, lots more anger. Oh, this is very nice. I'm glad you're off from work, number one. And I'm so glad you can watch this live. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans and their family for so much that you had to sacrifice for this country. Blessed be. That's a very nice sentiment. And thank you for that, Gloria. Let's see. I have an intense fixed sign T-square. Let's do how successful I am. What is, okay. Like what element is it, Alex? What elements do you have in your T-square? Fascinating. But let's talk about what's going on tomorrow before I go bye-bye. And we will get you all set up for the next day. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm glad you have off on Veterans Day. It's really a good thing. So yeah, tomorrow is going to be a pretty cool day. Essentially, we are still in the waxing moon cycle on Friday. So again, it's all about, oh, thank you, Alex. So Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Oh boy. That's really interesting. That's okay. Yeah. So on Friday, tomorrow, we have the waxing moon cycle. Again, today was the first quarter moon. So it's all about drawing more things into your life. And it is Venus's day tomorrow, right? So it's all about spreading the love, and it's all about abundance. And it also can be about money. Venus rules love as well as money. So it's a great day for that. And late, very, 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 very early tomorrow at 2:53 a.m. EST, Luna will enter Pisces. So we'll be leaving Aquarius, which the key phrase for Aquarius is I know. And Pisces key phrase is I believe. So we're wrapping up an astrological cycle. We start the astrological wheel on the cycle for all of us with the Aries moon, right? And now, or soon, at 2:53 a.m. tomorrow, EST tomorrow, the moon will enter Pisces. So it's a wrapping up cycle before our Aries moon, which will be after the weekend passes or late Sunday. I'm not quite sure. Pisces words and phrases include dreamy, compassionate, mystical, changeable, creative, elusive, osmotic, vague, romantic, and intuitive. So definitely give yourself an enjoyable Friday. Be gentle with yourself. Maybe take a rub-a-dub-dub in your tub. Anything that allows you to like let go and really escape. Pisces loves to escape. So choose those things that make you feel good, like good escapes, like not a fifth of vodka necessarily, but maybe a really cool movie or get involved in your creativity. Yes, Friday will be Sweet Venus's day. So spread as much love as possible, like your life depended on it. Also, tomorrow, we have the sun trining Neptune, which is really, really pumping up the Pisces energy because Pisces ruler is Neptune. Princess Diana actually had this aspect in her chart. It increases sensitivity and empathy, and we have an urge to help others with this transit on Friday. Psychic impressions may be strong. You might be very sensitive. This may help you to actually set goals and to manifest your ideal future. This transit is good for socializing and in general and in partnerships. So, keep that in mind for your Friday. It should be a really cool day. And, that's about it from me, folks. Again, please be sure to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. It would be great. And if you're looking for a psychic astrology reading, we will read your tarot cards. We'll run your astrological chart. We'll help you make the most of your life. So just check out my website, psychicsun.com, and we'll hook you up with a reading. And it is the season of giving. Look at this chick. She just got a gift certificate, clearly to see me, and she's over the moon. She looks like she's gonna just jump up in the air and never come down. So you can get a gift certificate because it is the season of giving, and really virtually any denomination you want. If you want a gift, you're giving. Getting a reading from my sister. Wow, how nice. I love that. It is a really practical gift from a very objective standpoint. Like, it's great, especially for the new year. So yeah, check out my website if you want to do that. If you want to gift a reading or you want one for yourself. That is it for me, folks. I hope you guys have a really great day and a happy Veterans Day. And again, we give great thanks for those who have fought for our country and given us the freedoms that we have. We're very, very lucky. So have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon, okay?